Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to draw hands. I'm going to start off with drawing the hand as a very simple pose and then working into something a bit more complex like this one. First thing you need to realise when drawing hands is that the hand has, it's a really quite a complex thing really. The hand has 27 different bones in it, and those 27 different bones move in lots of different kind of poses. The hand has 27 different bones, it has 27 different joints, it has 34 muscles, and you've got over 100 ligaments and tendons, so it can be quite complicated, the various kind of like different poses it can strike. You also, on top of that, you've got blood vessels, and you've got nerves. So the variety of different images it can produce is quite large. But initially, just bear in mind that there are 27 different bones there creating that structure. Okay, so we'll draw the fist like, I'll draw it in kind of that pose, right? So it's fairly straightforward shape. What you need to do with drawing is, whenever you're drawing anything complicated, just simplify the shape. So I'm going to simplify this very simply as a cuboid, but it's on its kind of side. Okay, and remember, cubes have perspective lines going in them. Okay, so that your cube should have a vanishing point, so the vanishing point would be going in that way. So that's kind of like my basic kind of cuboid shape. Okay, so I'm going to start to turn this into the hand. Okay, so this is just getting the proportion in right. It's not about this section stage, it's not about getting the line of form or any details in. It's purely about getting the proportions right. So just working out where things are. Start imagining lines where they're joining up. Like so, I've noticed one mistake in my drawing. I think this is a bit too far out. So once you're happy with the proportioning, you can then start adding the basic line of form. If you're happy with the angles as well, the way your angles are kind of set at, you can then start with doing a line of form. Just realised I need to do this bit here. So I've got that line going down like that. Then I've got this line going across, and I've got another one like that, and then I've got the start of the arm. So that's the basic angles mapped out. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. So that's a basic drawing of the fist. For the next drawing, we'll go on to doing something a little bit more complicated. Right, so we'll go for a pose similar to that. So it's kind of like an almost completely open hand. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing from my perspective. Okay, so as of before, start off by drawing the basic shapes that you're seeing. Okay, so I'm seeing a kind of square shape initially, and this is just to map out your drawing and your proportioning. So draw your fingers and thumb just as rectangles for now. Just keep it really simple. So, and think about, if you're doing a pose similar to this, think about the joints and the bones. and imagine them to be just separate bits in themselves, separate shapes. Right, so I'm not sure if you can see those marks. Right, so they're just very simple marks that have been mapped out. Okay, so next bit is just working out the proportioning. And, you know, if you want to look at angles as well, you can look at angles. Right, so this bit here, you feel the knuckle in the back, so that bone is that long. So I'm going to start drawing it as that length. So it's just about getting the proportions right. Try not to move your fingers as well when you're doing this. It does make it a little bit harder. And I know I'm moving mine quite a lot. So I'm imagining, so this point here I know is further across from this point here, from what I can see. So then you've got this joint here, which is just a little bit further across from this first joint of the finger there. Okay, so, and then you've got this other joint there, which is almost by the tip of this finger. Arm bends that way, bends that way. So now starting to go on to the line of form. Okay, so this is looking at the little bumps and lines a bit further. So you need to imagine look at each section of your hand and imagine the bumps that bump up, then bump down, or valleys and peaks. Okay, so that's the kind of basic line of form in. We'll be adding more detail and making adjustments as I'm going along. You probably notice that some fingers are slightly out of proportion and bent the wrong way. But you know, I'm going to be adjusting that as I'm going along, and you will find that there are some bits that don't look quite right. I'm just concentrating on this bit at the moment because I was getting quite frustrated with that. I'll come back to it now then. Yeah, I'm just put some hairs in my arms. Okay, so I've just been checking the proportioning of my my hand drawing, and I've noticed that these two fingers are far too long. I think the shapes look okay, even though they slightly do look broken. But if you compare it to the shapes here, they are quite similar. But it's the proportioning that's wrong with the drawing. And I'll just illustrate that. What you need to do with your proportioning is you need to compare one part of the hand to the other. Okay, so if I compare from this crease here to there, I'll see how many times that goes in to that first finger, and I'll try and get it in the right pose. They should be round about the same length, right? Whereas on my drawing, if I count that to there, it should be So it should be around about here, you see. So that all needs bringing in, right? I'll just double check this one as well. So I'll use that again as a point of measurement. So kind of seeing how many times that goes in there, try and get it in the same position. And remember, you're not doing the length of the finger, you're doing the pose. Okay, so this finger is foreshortened. So if you push it out, it's actually longer than there to there. Likewise, this is longer. But because it's foreshortened and it's bent, yes, which is foreshortened, it is slightly different. Okay, so that's a similar kind of pose to there. Just measure that. Okay, and it should be a little bit less than this distance from here to here. So you might want to just draw yourself a line, rough line going across. So if they're that distance from there to there, it should be around about there. Okay, and you can just keep double checking that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub it out. Just keep those measurements there. So that's where it should be for that first finger. Okay, so I'll just double check that now. So let's get in a similar pose to where it was. Yes, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to draw the basic shape in. It was kind of like that, I think. What you've got to do is you've got to make sure that this length here makes sense with these lengths here. So that first joint bend is about there on that and there on that. So this shouldn't be too much shorter than that. It should be around about the same length. This one should be longer. So I'm just doing, that's the first joint. And this is the second. Okay, so it's really, with observational drawing, it's really important to not go into too much detail too early, because getting your proportioning right is can be quite tricky. Okay, so I've just now changed the other finger and brought that one in, and I've made a slight change in the pose as well of that middle finger. But yeah, just to recap, you know, use sections of the hand to measure against other sections, including the width of the fingers as well. You know, compare one width to the other, and fingers do get more pointier as they go along. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. Thank you very much.